everybody. I apologize about the missed tweet yesterday. Somebody texted me and said, no show tonight at about 8:02, and I freaked out and thought it was Wednesday and sent out a tweet really quick that I was too tired and blah, 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 blah. But that got corrected and stuff. So it's Wednesday, hump day, my day. Time to spew my rhetoric on the mic. So with that being said, we're going to jump over here to the Skype thingy and start a brand new call because we got some new people coming on to the show tonight. So here we go. Doink. Where you at, Mom? Boom. Mom T. Let's get him added in here really quick. Skype Mr. Kevin Allen. There's Mr. Lance Musser. I'm going to get him added into the call, even though he's not live yet. Should be, but he's not. David F. Town Balla. I'm going to get him added in really quick here. Boom. Jump down here and grab Mr. Vaughn West. Get him added into the call also. Bing, bang, boom. What's up, Kevin?
What's happening, Jimmy?
Long time no speak, my brother.
Yeah, man. How you been?
Not too shabby. How's the life on the ocean?
Perfection, if there is such a thing.
Outstanding, outstanding. All right, so it looks like we got everybody added in that's coming on tonight. I don't know. Well, let me get Prepper Chicks. She's supposed to be on sometime later. She's got children's over and doing the tater tot night. So I'll just ring her phone anyway, just to piss her off. What's up, Vaughn? I think this is
what's going on?
I think this is the first time.
Hey, everybody.
I think this is the first time that you two have met Mom T, Mr. Kevin Allen, master of many things. Kevin, this is Vaughn West.
Okay. I've known Kevin Allen. Last time I talked to Kevin Allen, I called the police for him because his son's got in trouble for being on the roof when he was in Kentucky. No, I don't know.
That's awesome. I love it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you, Vaughn. I didn't realize that you were one of the callers, but yeah, quite a few people called the police that day, and they decided to leave me the fuck alone. So thank you. That was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, at least you guys know each other, and you're familiar with each other and all that good stuff. So, hey, outstanding. What's up, David? David made it onto the call. Bing, bang, boom. We're getting everybody loaded up here.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
How you doing, brother? We got a lot of shit to talk about now.
I'm doing all right, man. Sun's been out, spending a lot of time in the backyard.
Outstanding. That vitamin D is good for you, man. I don't give a shit what they say about the sun. It's hot, yeah, and it's changed a little bit, and it's pretty mean if you're out in it for an extended period of time and you're kind of fair-skinned, but it's still good for you. I don't care what anybody says. I'm glad you've got some time to go out and enjoy it, though. That's awesome. You know, I'm glad it's not snowing up there because it's snowing in the Northwest.
Well, it's already been in the 90s up here.
All right. Hang on. I'll be right back. You guys chat amongst yourselves.
Well, hello, everybody. It's been a while.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, David.
Hi, Kevin.
What's up, Kevin?
I don't think I've met you.
Probably, maybe, possibly. My memory sucks as well. Names, it's just I deal with too many people, I guess. So sorry if I don't remember you when we did meet, but I'm sure
I don't think so. I'm Kim. Nice to meet you.
Same here, Kim.
Thanks.
Awesome. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't been following any news, so I don't know how much help. I refuse. I won't share any news that if it's been put out within the last year. A year or more, I'll share it. If it's current, I won't share it. I don't want to know about it because it's just all bullshit. The PSYOP is in full swing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think what I'm really watching the most is the economics, the global economics, and that you can watch without having to. I mean, actually, I watch a few different channels, but that's pretty big.
I mean, I do watch it. I do keep an eye on it for my own dissemination, but I've refused to share it. And when people share, like the stuff that they're really trying to, when you make me scared of Muslims and then you go and make an arms deal with them, I'm not. That was the last straw for me. if you can't see through the bullshit after that, then there's no helping any of you, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's why I'm on the boat. I'm going to sit here until I watch it all start to catch fire, and then I'm going to raise my sail and wave, and then that's it. I mean, this country is going to fall, and I wish I was, had a more positive attitude, but I don't see us fixing it, and
It's not just our country; it's
No,
Europe.
No, you're right.
It's not going to be fixed here. It's going to go.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's gonna go.
And I mean, we'll have it. I think it's gonna go, and you're right. It is a global issue. They're gonna make everybody scrounge and suffer, and then propose the beautiful fix, and everybody's gonna subscribe to it. And there'll be a short period of everything is wonderful, and then you're all gonna die. So I'm just gonna skip over all that, and I'm pretty close to. Probably by the turn of the year, I'll be in a situation where I won't have to work. I won't have to generate any money. I'm pretty close to that now. But once my boat is complete, I really won't have to generate any money to live. I still will if it's available, but I'll be in a position that it doesn't matter. And it almost doesn't matter now.
What area are you gonna be out there on? What part of the country or world water?
It really depends. There's so many places I've been invited to, so many places I want to see. I mean, right now I'm in Jacksonville Beach area. I have a great little job. I live on the boat on anchor, so I have no rent. I have no power bill. The solar panel provides all my power. And I'm just pouring money into the boat. Hopefully by fall, I'll be in the Keys for the winter. That's, probably pretty sure that I'll be able to do that. And then from there, I really don't know. It depends on how bad things get and where I decide to go from there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, keep it, just be aware and remember Fukushima. That's still an ongoing dilemma. It's 6 years now.
It is. You're absolutely right.
It's just pouring, radioactive contamination into the water, tons of it daily.
We've been talking about that for years.
Hawaii, everywhere over there, everything.
We've been talking about that for years.
Yeah, he's talking about taking his boat out and being self-sufficient. I was just curious as to whether.
No, he's already. He's not talking about taking it out. He's already out. He's already doing it.
And I probably won't sail up the West Coast. I do have two of my kids. My two oldest live in Oregon. And so I'll probably, at some point take a bus trip up there and spend a little bit of time with them in the next year. But I don't think I'll sail the boat all the way up there. I don't have any desire to be in Pacific waters, off the West Coast or anything like that because of Fukushima. But, and I'm sure it's everywhere by now in small doses, so there's no escaping it.
Right.
You just got to kind of acclimate, I guess, and hope for the best. So,
at this stage of the game, it's just surviving what's coming. I mean, Fukushima's already here. We're already, slowly adapting to the added radiation that's in the atmosphere, that's in the water and stuff. Because it's like Kevin said just a second ago, it's contaminated everything. It's been going on for more than 5 years. It's contaminated everything. So just because of evaporation and rain and the cycles of the ocean and whatever, it's everywhere. So, the main thing that I'm concentrating on now is what's coming over the next couple of months, because it's going to get horrific, I think, over the next couple of months here.
Yeah, I'm really laughing. A lot of people, just before the election, Trump did a good job of taking some truth seekers that I know, people that were adamant that the whole game is bullshit and there's no sense to take part, and they were somehow mesmerized by Trump. I call them trumpets.
Half my friends are trumpets.
Like that. Yeah. And now they're mad as hell that he hasn't done what he said he was going to do, and where's my wall, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I laugh. It's so enjoyable for me because it's saddening because they were sure the system was totally flawed and that you shouldn't take part before Trump spoke. And I'm sure there was the same group of people when Obama was elected. You know, they get mesmerized by the rhetoric,
Yeah,
and they just
Dave's
I can't believe it. It's disgusting. I'm like, there's very few people that I hold hope for that are going to make it through what, like you say, what's coming, Jim. You're
Dave-
one of them.
Dave
there's
posts
a few
that
that'll
all the
make
time, man. Dave posts
Um,
shit about that all the time. He's got people in his groups and stuff that are just, I don't know, man. They're just completely bonkers when it comes to Trump. They think that he's the Christ. I mean, I've actually seen memes on Facebook before he was elected that said that he was the Christ, you know, or the second coming of Jesus or whatever. You know, I just, you know, that he was being
There are
guided by a
crazy
divine
people
hand.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, some
He's
some
part of
think
the
he's
fucking-
the Antichrist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he's not
it's
smart
like,
enough to be that.
no, he's a pompous ass, spoiled little bastard that just hadn't become president yet and decided that he wanted to.
Right.
That's it. It's a feather in his cap. Ultimately, he doesn't give a shit one way or the other. He's got his money, and he's going to continue to make money no matter what happens. So he's all set. It doesn't matter, you know. I'm not sure, and maybe he does have good ethics, and maybe he'd really like
What?
America to be great again. But
Come
you know,
on, you don't believe any of that shit you just spit out of your
no,
mouth.
I don't. I mean, I try to, you know.
He wants to have hope.
Yeah, I want to, but I don't. But I have the ability to chuckle at it and say, yeah, I'm all set. As far as me and anybody that I have close contact to or whatever, we'll be okay. Some of you will survive. I'll meet up with you out there somewhere. But there's going to be mass casualties everywhere between
I think
the drug
he was brought
addiction.
in to handle the collapse.
If you want to come up here and see me, brother, there's all kinds of water for you to put that boat on, but you're going to have to portage it a long fucking way from the Gulf.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not in the Gulf right now, Jimmy. I'm.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that's the way
Yeah.
you're going to have to come around. You're going to have to go around the big dick that hangs off the bottom of the USA and come up into
Oh,
the
yeah.
Gulf of Mexico and then come up the Mississippi up to around Memphis, and then you're going to have to portage that, you know, across the mountains there. So it might be a little bit of
Right.
a haul for you. But hey, we got some really nice water around here. You can set that bad boy up.
Yeah, and it's the boat is pretty easily to trailer. I don't have a trailer right now. I've kind of been considering buying one just to have it available, whether I leave it up in New Hampshire at my parents' place or wherever. Because it only has the keel is only 2'9", so I could feasibly truck it pretty easy.
Wow.
But
If you're
again,
gonna go-
I'll stay on this boat just till I learn more. Probably no more than 2 years on this boat, maybe sooner, and then I'll bump up because ultimately this is a small boat. It's made to sleep 4, but there's no way 4 people are going to live on this boat.
Right.
I would, you know,
No.
it would have to be a very special one other person, maybe. You know, it's not a big boat, so, but it's perfect to learn. You know, it's probably not big enough to do a transatlantic or anything like that, but I can go quite a ways by island hopping,
right.
you know. And, yeah, I can go a long ways that way. And, you know, the boat probably would handle a crossing if you didn't hit any bad weather, but there's just too much time and distance in between to be sure. So I don't think I'll try that on this boat. But in the meantime, it's rent free. I paid my rent actually the other day. I fucking love it. I registered the boat, $4.25. That's my rent for the year.
You statist. You
Well, and
fucking-
I know, and some dick,
That's
and I'm going to call him a
$4.
dickhead. I mean, he means well, but to say, because the boat's name is non-compliance, and he said, "Well, you're complying," and I'm like, you can't see deeper than that. Okay, so I paid $4.25 to keep the fucking cops away from me, to cover my rent for a whole year, to live on state property, not pay any tax, not pay any insurance. I don't even have to use fuel if I don't want to.
right.
And you think that I complied with your system? No.
All right,
You know-
hang on a second, everybody. I got to wave hi to Lance and his new special friend. So hi, Lance. Hi, special friend. They're watching live. So I'm waving to them, and he told me to smile too. So here's a smile for you, Lance. There you go. Get your ass on the fucking mic. Okay, got that out of the way. Go ahead, take off. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you like that, but I had to. So.
Oh, no worries. That was basically my spiel, but I mean, it kind of shows, like this person was more concerned that I didn't. What is it realistic to say? Fuck you! I'm not going to register my boat.
You should have registered down in Cuba. That would have been a big fuck you. I'm just saying.
And you know what? On the other side of that is, I'm pretty reasonable, believe it or not, and I think that we should pay something to maintain our waterways and our roads and that thing. I'm okay with that. If
the
it's fair and not
roads,
being,
man. What about the
being
roads?
abused. And the law enforcement on the water here is awesome. They don't intimidate people. They don't harass people. There's 4 different law agencies that go by me every day.
Oh my God!
Nobody bothers me at all. Nobody comes and does surprise checks. Nobody wants to search my boat. Nobody's harassing me because I'm running around in my underwear, fucking dancing in the sun. You can't do that anywhere on land. So, to give them $4.25 so that they can make sure that nobody's stealing fish and that nobody's trashing the waterway, I'm okay with that. I don't see that they're abusing. Now, if I had to pay $500, I might be a little upset. I probably wouldn't do it. But just to think that I'm complying because I
got to tell you though, Kevin, I got to tell you, man, you're sounding like a compliant citizen. Just throwing it out there, man. I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but you're giving a big thumbs up to the cops and paying your dues, and I'm just giving you shit though. I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah, well, it's refreshing to me to see law enforcement that aren't aggravating.
Hey, man,
they
work in fucking paradise, right? I mean, what's the bitch about? They're working in Jacksonville, Florida, on the beach, running a boat around on the water. What's the bitch about?
Yeah, they got a cushy job, and
they're not working they're not working the south side of Chicago or Cabrini Green, or you know what I mean. So they don't have a whole lot to bitch about.
Yeah, no, they're not putting themselves in a lot of danger right here, really. But it's nice that they don't. Like if I were in an RV and camping anywhere, you don't just pull over and camp anywhere. You got cops up your ass. You have to move along. What are you doing here?
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. I've been in this spot since last September, and technically they could make me move 500 feet every, whatever it is, every, 90 days or some damn thing. Nobody said a word to me. Nobody, you know what I mean? Because I'm not bothering anybody. They're not bothering me. And so if you're not harassing me and you're fulfilling your job requirements, I don't mind you being paid for that. I mean, we do have to have some structure in a society. I'm not, totally against all of it, but it just seems like the land system is so far spun out that it's really refreshing to be here.
Yeah, but you do understand now, though. You understand now that you are covered by maritime law. So,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Right.
All right. Moving on. Let's jump into some headlines and stuff because there's quite a bit of shit going on around the planet right now. So we're going to toss it over to David F. Town Bala and his stack of stuff that he's got over there.
Well, how you doing tonight, Jimmy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm a little tired, but that's okay. I'll catch up on my sleep eventually when I'm dead.
All right, where I want to start here. Let's start what's going on with Qatar here.
Yeah.
Now,
let's do
this
that.
is the shit storm in the making. Some breaking news just came out. More on it just now. This stuff with Qatar, it's crazy how it started. They're saying that it came that our intelligence agency. I'm like I said, I'm not endorsing anything I say here. I'm just a news repeater here, but a little bit of opinion. But our intelligence agencies came out last night and says that Russia hacked Qatar's computers and sent out all this bullshit to all these other nations, Saudi Arabia, all your Mideast nations.
Damn those Russian hackers.
What's that?
I said, damn those Russian hackers.
Yeah, well,
they're sticking their nose in everybody's shit.
I'm not endorsing any of it. I'm just saying what's out there.
Oh, I know.
And so they're saying that basically Russia hacked these computers in Qatar and sent out all this bad-mouthing information to all these other GCC nations. And basically, coming after Saudi real hard, coming after Egypt, coming after Bahrain, UAE, coming after us, and basically saying, accusing Saudi of being terrorist. Well,
They are.
Saudi came out and said, no, you're the terrorist. You're the one that they're, Qatar reportedly is sponsoring Al Nusra Front over in Syria and Iraq, and also they sponsor Hamas, and that's a fact, they do. Whereas, Saudi, Turkey, even Turkey's taken up for Qatar, but still, Turkey, Saudi, we sponsor ISIS, America, Britain, all of us, we sponsor ISIS. But the deal is that all these countries, for some reason, are coming after Qatar. This is all planned. This is that right after Trump left, a week later, this began.
Right.
And so Trump and Egypt,
because he was over there. He was over there, and they all put their hands on the big orb, on the big orb of the world.
Dude.
They must have transferred their power back and forth and their thoughts and whatever. And that was right before Bilderberg too. Right, this happened like right after Bilderberg. Bilderberg
Trump's
just got open.
Masters gave him word to go to Saudi when he went there and said, "This is what you're going to do. You all are going to start a war with Iran." This is a backdoor attack on Iran because Qatar is buddies with Iran, and that's always pissed Saudi off and Egypt off and a bunch of other Mideast nations over there. And so this is a backdoor attack on Iran. Iran had that massive ISIS terror attack early this morning, or our time. I was laying in bed when it broke out, and I was reading all the tweets coming out, saying 13 people got killed, over 45, 50-something injured, 5 attackers. They hit Iran's parliament. They hit Iran's founder's fucking tomb, the main symbology in Iran. They hit the two most symbolic areas in Iran. Iran hasn't had a terrorist attack like this in over 10 years. This was well coordinated. These guys had Kalashnikovs. They had one female blew herself up. She was a suicide bomber. She blew herself up in El Khomeiни's mosque, which is the main religious spot there, the founder of Iran. They were shooting people running down the streets, all kinds of stuff. Iran came out and blamed Saudi for this because Saudi sponsors ISIS. They blamed Egypt for this. They blamed America for this. Trump put out a statement today saying, okay, we're very sorry for what happened to you, but guess what, Iran? If you didn't sponsor terrorism, you wouldn't get attacked. Basically calling, and everybody knows Iran's the sponsor of terror, just like every other nation in this world sponsors terror to some extent. There isn't a nation in this world that doesn't sponsor terror to some extent, whether it's money funneling or whatever else. But anyway, Trump basically come out and said, we feel sorry for you, Iran, but you're a state sponsor of terror. The chickens have come home to roost in Tehran. Too bad, how sad. Don't sponsor terror. So you've got to put all this together, because if they're saying that Russia put out fake news to start this war, why is Trump overlooking that and condemning Qatar? If this was fake news that started this, if all the news that was put out that started this wasn't true, why is Trump going after Qatar then? Because he was told to. You're looking at a major war that came out of the blue. I didn't see this come until the other day. And what you're going to have, you're going to have Saudi, you're going to have America, you're going to have Egypt, you're going to have all your GCC nations, except for Qatar, because they just officially dropped out tonight on one side. And then Turkey announced today they've rushed a bill through their parliament today to send troops to Qatar. They're sending up to 5,000 troops to Qatar. Turkey is, and they're a NATO member. They're going against us. 5,000 troops they're sending to protect Qatar right now. Pakistan has announced that they will be sending troops to Qatar. So now you're going to involve Pakistan in a war against America and Saudi and Israel. Oh, yeah, Israel will be, believe me, as soon as this goes down, which could be any minute now, I mean, it's going that fast, Israel is going to get into it with Iran. and because Iran is going to come across the Gulf there, because Qatar is directly across the Persian Gulf from Iran. Iran's going to come flying in. This is no joke. And the deal is Trump is sponsoring this war. Trump is backing Saudi up on this. And what's funny is we just made a $400 billion arm deal with Saudi. And Trump has the balls to come out and call Qatar and Iran terrorist nations, but not Saudi Arabia, the one that, quote unquote, brought us 9/11. Are you kidding me?
That's
Trump
why we're a damn joke.
Stooge than any president we've ever had. He is the biggest Saudi stooge we've ever had.
That's why we're a damn joke around the world. You know, I mean, everything this entire thing is upside down. Everything's upside down. We've been talking about
it was announced this past May 1st. Not too many people saw this. Saudi completely owns our biggest oil refinery down in Texas now.
We had that on the store. We talked about that story on the show.
May 1st, they bought it completely out at the end of April.
It's the biggest refinery.
God.
Yeah, it's the biggest refinery down in Texas. Down in it's not actually Houston. It's in the port over there.
Yeah,
Like
and
our
it
own
says
property,
it's the
and they
biggest
can just
one
come
in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they own the
Saudi
biggest. They own the
controls our
biggest seaport on the West Coast too. You know, they bought that out from under California not too
I was
many
gonna
years
say,
ago.
is it including what's underground too? Like everything?
Yeah,
no,
the
this
refinery
is the
storage.
biggest oil
the
refinery.
Okay. So does that mean they could actually come here and basically have their own little country within our country?
I'm sure they've got workers there.
They come here, and if they decide to shut that refinery down, it shuts off like 40% of our crude oil production.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
they
God.
could do us some damage.
Jesus.
That's part,
They
this.
did that on purpose.
This is part of the petrodome.
They did that on purpose.
We let them
Well,
do that. It wasn't done on purpose. We let them.
No,
do
we let them. You know, that's
Yeah,
exactly
like I'm
right.
talking
We
about
let.
like the
Right.
whoever's at the top.
I think
This
it
goes
was
back to the petrodollar.
I think
you
it
know?
was. It did belong to BP, so it was a fully foreign transaction between two foreign countries. Because I think that refinery wasn't U.S. owned to begin with; it was owned by BP. But yeah, when they sold it we had to approve that sale. The government
Yeah.
had to approve
Yeah.
that sale. So yeah, they knew that.
And
They gave
and
Russia
this-
30% of our fucking uranium last year or the year before last. So what the
Yeah,
this
Hillary
ain't no
did
fucking
that.
different. Yeah.
So whose
Oh, yeah.
pockets got lined this time? We know whose pockets got
This-
lined last time. Well, this time.
What'd you say, Vaughn?
War that's about to start. It sounds like it's getting real serious. Are all three of the tribes in the Arab country are two in Saudi Arabia, or how's this working out? You got that information, Dave?
You were cutting
Your
out real
connection-
bad. I couldn't catch.
Am I cutting out?
Yeah.
Yeah, your connection's pretty bad tonight.
Okay, is that better?
A little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I know there's three tribes of Arabs over there, and I'm just wondering if there's the two tribes are taking on Saudi Arabia in this battle, because it sounds like if Turkey and some of these other Arab countries, I'm sure they're not all the same tribe.
No, it's Sunni and Shias is what you got. Iran is Shia.
Yep.
Qatar is Shia. Iraq's going to be involved in this. They're Shia. You got
the
Egypt.
ruling party
you got,
is Shia.
You got
There's still a lot
Saudi
of
that are Sunni.
There's still a lot of Sunni in Iraq too.
Yeah.
So-
There's still a lot there too. And then you got Syria. They're all pretty much. They're mainly a Sunni population, but Assad is a Shiite. That's the
And
same
there's
with
Christians mixed in all this.
That's the same with Bahrain. It's and Iran's always said in the war they're going to go for Bahrain right off the bat because they can't stand Bahrain. Bahrain is run by a Sunni government, but it's the population 90-something% is Shiite,
Oh God.
and so they're saying that the Shiites never get any kind of rights over in Bahrain because of the Sunni government, and so Iran's never been happy about that.
And vice versa.
And vice versa.
I mean-
and of course, in Bahrain, that's where our fifth fleet is stationed. Over in Qatar, this is where Trump fucked up. Trump put out 2 tweets yesterday condemning the Emir of Qatar, basically calling him a big fucking asshole. In 2 separate
Said
tweets.
that he was said that he
And
was
the
a
funny
sponsor,
thing
a
is
state
this, after
sponsor of
he's-
terrorism. Shit.
Yeah, he's cussing, calling him a terrorist and everything. And our congressmen and senators say, hey, like Trump, we hate to tell you this, but we've got our biggest Air Force base, military base,
10,000 men
over sitting in Qatar that is hitting ISIS over in Iraq, hitting ISIS over in Afghanistan, hitting ISIS over in Syria. And you want to sit there and tell this son of a bitch to go fuck himself when we got all of our troops there, we got all of our planes there.
10,000 airmen. There's 10,000 airmen on that
what the
little
fuck is
chunk of
Trump
ground.
doing? You don't come after someone like that that's got our biggest base over there right now.
Oh, God.
He's a dumb shit.
He's a
complete
stupid
dumb shit.
fuck.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Anybody that can,
aren't the admirals telling him, giving
he
him
doesn't
advice?
listen to anybody.
No.
He listens to himself and himself only.
No, he listens to Jared Kushner and
Oh,
he listens to
Henry
his little
Kissinger, too, and
kid.
Steve Bannon and Jerry Kushner.
Yeah. Well, I
He
don't know
listens
about
to Henry
Bannon too much.
Kissinger.
Yeah.
well, see, this is going to become a holy war.
Yeah, this is going to be the ultimate one. And like I said, once this gets going, like I said, Pakistan has troops pretty much coming. They haven't made up their mind yet, but they said most likely they'll be sending a contingent. Turkey has already got 200 special forces operators there, but they've got a base built that can hold up to 5,000 soldiers, and they said that number will be met. You've got Iran, that, like I said, right across the Persian Gulf, keeping their eye on Qatar because that's their buddy. You've got Qatar officially announced tonight that they are dropping out of the GCC, which is all your Arabic nation councils. They're dropping out and telling the rest of them to go screw themselves. This is unprecedented for this thing. Exactly.
I got one more. Hang on. I got one more.
Don't drop that dirk. Hey, don't drop that dirk.
Okay, go ahead. I just had to I heard the words holy war, and when I hear the words holy war, I got to hit that button.
Don't drop that dirk. Hey, don't drop that dirk.
Okay, go ahead.
Situation is climbing to a point that people don't understand how the Islamic nation and all that are contributing to this war that's happening right now, that this is going to break out even deeper into Europe and into America and into Canada, because these are actually becoming Arabic countries within themselves of nationality, and they're going to have to stand up for the Islamic way. Whichever battle they're going to fight, they're going to fight it right here.
Well, the bigger picture of this whole Qatar thing is, it's a shitstorm in a making on its own. I've, since 2000, I've been following this stuff since the year 2000. I've never seen a group of Islamic nations coming together and coming to a big fucking fight. This is biblical. And
Right.
I'm not a real religious person, but this is biblical, man.
I do got to tell you though. I got to tell you, the web bot Cliff High, listening to all his reports that he's been putting out recently, there is zero about a third world war. There's skirmishes and stuff. We continue with all these little skirmishes and shit, but there is zero feedback from the web bot about a third world war.
Jimmy.
It's just going to turn into a shitstorm here, though.
They were saying on something I was reading that it was an economic report, and whoever wrote it or whatever, he was saying that there's not going to be a World War III, that they just use that literally as a way to
scare the shit out of
distract.
people. Yeah, it's going to
He
be.
said
They're
that
just going to
is
keep
exactly
talking
what you
about
just
Little
said,
Kim,
basically.
and
Well, the
they're just
deal
going to keep
is,
throwing bombs
we're
at
in
all
a
these
third
fucking
world
Islamic. I
war.
mean, if you're living in a brown country, watch the fuck out, But I mean, other than that, it's just same old shit.
They're
But
just
the
gonna
dollar's going to
collapse
collapse.
the system.
That's a given. The dollar's going bye bye. So,
Well, the deal is we're in a third world war. It's just we didn't label it that because
Right.
We looked at the first two world wars,
It's a-
and they weren't labeled world wars until years after the fact.
but we're in a prick waving dick fight.
Well, I think shit's coming to a head,
Well,
and
whatever.
eventually we're gonna find out we're not as safe as sound as us Americans like to think we are. They tell us that they were able to blow an ICBM up out of the atmosphere, but did we actually see it?
No, that's what I said
of course they're going to tell us they can do it because they don't want the sheep to freak out if we can't.
That's what I said on the last show. I was like, they didn't
Yeah,
show
you
any
just said
video.
that.
Yeah, they didn't show any video of it. They just
No,
said,
and
we
so
hit
of course they're going to say it passed. They're not going to tell us it failed. If it passed, wonderful. If it didn't, then we're fucked because they're not going to tell us the truth.
it. Right.
eventually China and Russia are going to get sick of this fucking shit, which they are right now. Look, like I said, the bigger picture with this Qatar thing is we're blaming the goddamn Russians. That's not cool. Sure, it might be a joke to us, Russia this, Russia that. This ain't a goddamn joke to Vladimir Putin. We're accusing him of getting ready to start a big fucking war in the Middle East over fake news that his hackers supposedly put out. That's the bigger picture of this.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Let me switch gears real fast.
All
The
right.
people were paying attention that NSA reality winner, which that ain't her real goddamn name, no
Her
matter
name's
what
Sarah.
they say.
Her name's Sarah Winter.
You know,
I don't know what the fuck they tagged her with this reality thing, but her name is Sarah Winter. That's the
the bigger picture is this: is you look at her, and I look at her. You can look at her as an Edward Snowden type.
she's a plant though. I think she's a straight
Yeah, this
plant.
whole thing stinks, Jimmy.
Yeah.
This was purposely done to make Russia look even more worse. You know, they're
She's
saying,
goddamn lucky she didn't wind up like Seth Rich. And we're going to get back into him here in a little bit too, because that shit's not going away either. But go ahead with this fucking winner chick.
Right.
with this NSA contractor girl, the deal is I listened to her parents talk on CNN last night, and this is so scripted, man. Someone dropped this on purpose. Someone purposely wanted this girl to come out, whether she might even be a goddamn CIA agent, had her come out and say, "Oh, look, she dropped the documents that so that Russia really did try to hack our elections, all these voting machines and all this other shit." So what we're doing here is what people need to pay attention to. We're the documents officially dropped now. That Russia, you're a fucking liar. Trump, you're a goddamn liar.
That's
Russia,
bullshit.
you really did tried to hack our elections.
That's
And then you
bullshit.
flip it around to the other side. Fuck Russia, you're starting a goddamn war with Qatar and the whole fucking Middle East. I'm telling you, we're fixing to go to war with Russia, and we're fixing to go to war with China. We're fixing to go to war with North Korea.
I don't
There's
think it's
fixing to
gonna
be
happen.
a fucking blow up in the Middle East over this Qatar stuff. It's moving at rapid fucking speed. That was a setup too.
Yeah.
This has all been scripted. This has all been scripted.
I got a question.
is
I got a
going through
question
this
for everybody
bullshit.
on the
You got
panel
Tony
right now.
speaking tomorrow that's going to try to hang him out to fucking dry. You had that shit go on today with the Congress and all that. The deal is this: is we're in trouble as America. Maybe not the world, but America is in some goddamn deep shit right now.
I got a question for everybody that's on
government
the
is
mic right now.
functionless right now. Our government, couldn't function before. They're goddamn broke in half right now.
Well, this could be the third of the population being eliminated.
North Korea today launched more fucking missiles, which isn't getting any press coverage because of all this other shit going on in the fucking world right now. This is crazy time.
When did the government start giving 20-somethings top secret information?
Yeah.
I mean, Edward Snowden he's only 36 now or something. He's still a young buck too. But this chick here, this Winter chick, she's like 22, 23.
So what was the scoop? Because I got part of it, but I worked a lot this week and I didn't get the whole scoop. I heard about this girl and her new name. What exactly happened?
I'm not really that down on it or whatever. I don't know.
I know
Dave
what
wants to say
happened.
something.
And I'll tell
She
you
had
real
something on her computer and it got sent to some cat at a newspaper overseas, dropping a dime, and then they actually turned around and contacted the NSA to say, "Hey, man, we got this whistleblower document. We want to make sure it's real." So they sent it to the NSA, and the NSA, went through and scratched a bunch of shit off and sent it back to them and said, "Yeah, it's real." And they went ahead and printed the fucking story. They went ahead with the story.
Oh my
and
See,
then
that's what stinks. That's
And
what
they-
stinks.
what
is
they
how is the
turned this
government
chick
allowing
out.
this news agency, to get away with printing this. Why aren't they in trouble too? The whole
well,
thing
they
makes
turned this chick out, man. They fucking turned her out. She went to them
Oh
as a
my
whistleblower, if it's at all true, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's all true. But she went to them as a whistleblower, and they fucking turned her out to the NSA.
Wow.
Yeah, they turned on her.
Scums.
Just trying to find out, just trying to vet the story, right? Hey, we got this thing from this chick, and we just want to make sure it's real, not bullshit before we print it.
Yeah,
Whatever,
that's
man,
right.
whatever. Okay. But I
I
just
thought,
this
what
is
the fuck? You're going straight to the source that the leak is
I
on,
took a
and you're
look
going
at
to
the-
try to vet it through them.
I took a look at
Oh
this
my
chick's
God.
picture on the story, though. I'm looking at her, and I'm like, she
Unbelievable.
can't be 25 years old, man. What the fuck is she doing with top secret information about Russia?
Yeah,
for
That
That
fuck's
was
age.
sake?
another story they had about top
But here-
secret clearances being given out, like literally
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of them, Jimmy.
I know.
Well,
but
They
here's
said
the,
that she was also an officer in the Air Force for 6 years.
she can't. Oh well, I don't know, man.
She
Maybe
looks
she
that young.
maybe she drinks
Still
collagen
there.
or something. I don't know, but you know what? I'm just saying she doesn't look that old to me. She looks like she's in her early 20s.
Yeah,
I mean, she's
well,
only been with
Steve
this
Forty.
NSA contractor for a couple months too, since like February or
Right,
something
yeah,
like
you know,
that.
it's
She hasn't
just
been with him
amazing,
very
man. It's
long.
just but here's the thing. Here's what it all boils down to, right? This is another distraction from the Seth Rich investigation because it will not
yeah.
go away. Now, I'm not hip on this George
Right.
Webb cat or whoever the fuck is talking to Sean Hannity or what. I think that's all a bunch of ploy bullshit too because he's nothing but a fucking whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not going to
agree.
get into, but I'm not hip on George Webb.
He's not a bad guy,
But
you know.
what I will say is that the Seth Rich thing is not going to go away. It's not going to go away
No.
because their story about what happened to that young man is completely full of shit.
Yep.
And when
And
it
they
comes
had
out,
body cameras on.
and when it comes out that it was real, that he's the leaker, the whole Russia thing goes bye-bye. It goes bye-bye because that's what they based everything on. The leaks to WikiLeaks were from Russia, blah, 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 blah. And that's what started the whole thing. So when it comes out that Seth Rich was really the leak to WikiLeaks, the whole Russia thing is done. And then what? And then are
I
we going
think
to go
we'll be
after
at
Hillary
war
Clinton?
before it all comes out.
Right. Well,
So what's his face was the guy he gave him to, Julian Assange, and Julian Assange has nothing to lose at this point. Why doesn't he come out and say it? Seth is dead.
Because Julian
I would come right out
Assange
and
is,
say
is
it.
a fucking plant.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. If he were real, he would come out and say that. Because I used to think he was real, and now I don't know what to think because I think they killed him. Or I don't know what they
Kim.com.
did to him.
Kim.com is not a shill. He's not a fake. He doesn't work for anybody. He works for himself.
Right.
And he knew Seth Rich when he was going under the Twitter handle of Political Panda. Okay? And he actually spoke with him on the phone a couple of times and knew for a fact that he was the leak to WikiLeaks.
Yeah, right.
So there you go. I mean, all you got to do is
You know
connect
why?
the dots,
You know
man.
why it doesn't
What's up,
matter
Lance?
now, though.
Why? Because Seth is dead.
Because of tomorrow's testimony of Comey
Oh God.
that he did try to influence Comey's decision. It's impeachment
Yeah.
from here on out.
They said
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
Seth
what they
Rich
said.
will be buried. The Russia story will be buried because it's now starting tomorrow. The whole story: impeachment for obstruction of justice.
Well, that
You
You
one,
really
that's
think
your
you're going to do it? You really
that
think you're
one
going to do it?
congressman or senator already filed for impeachment today in the House.
For what?
Oh, just to get it going because it takes a while.
And guess what? He should be. I mean, not that backroom deals don't happen all the time, but based on what happened in that short paragraph, dude, I mean, they're going to be going to the gallows to try to impeach this guy.
They have been since he
over
got in the
him
fucking chair.
Over him doing what Comey. It's done.
They have
Yeah, I
been
think
since he
so.
sat in that fucking chair. Since he put his hand
I
on that
think-
Bible,
I think
the
so.
Democrats have been coming unfucking glued. They have thrown everything they can and hoping that it would stick to this bastard. And I think they finally got it now. I mean, his ego is just going to, I said that from the very beginning. His ego is going to be his downfall. He's going to stab
Well, if
himself in the
Trump
back.
live tweets during that Comey thing tomorrow, he's going to be in some serious shit, man.
Right?
Oh,
It's
he's not.
irrelevant. It's irrelevant based on that letter that was released tonight of the pre-printed testimony that he's going to open with tomorrow. Dude, Trump is done. I mean, they're
Well,
going
did
to
that-
go
What's
after
the
him.
things that's making him done? What's in
Did
the letter?
that pre-printed
He
testimony
said
come from CNN?
I mean, Comey says, and here's the problem I got with the whole thing is, okay, so now we know the memos were true. How in the fuck did the New York Times get this story a month ago? Comey had to have fucking leaked it. Who else was going to leak the memos?
Right.
Who else
Well, are
knew
you
about the memos?
surprised by that?
I'm not. But you want to talk about your leaker? Who else would have had the story about memos that nobody knew existed until it showed up in the newspaper?
Yeah, he leaked them.
Answer me that.
He leaked them to his friend, and his friend went to the news, and that's how
Thank
it was
you.
set up. That's how it was
Thank you
set up
very
to
much. It
That's
was
how it was set up.
just like that.
be. It's like Comey's the one that leaked the memos today. He even admitted he did. He said, "I'm going to let some of this out early."
No, like Petraeus gave that chick all of his information right when they were laying in bed. Yeah, leakers.
Yep. Well, this is my question. You look at this girl, this NSA agent that just got busted supposedly for leaking out this, saying that Russia really did hack our elections. Now, let me ask you this, and they were asking her parents this last night, and her dad surprised me. They says, do you think that your daughter is a patriot for doing this? And his father went, well, she served 6 years admirably in the Air Force. She's never had a criminal record. She's never been to jail for anything. He's like, I really believe that she did what she felt in her heart. He says, we didn't talk to her before she did this. And he said, but I feel that she felt it was her patriotic duty. She wasn't a Trump supporter. She had been on her Twitter.
Bernie supporter, man. She's a fucking socialist.
She didn't like Trump, but the deal is this: her father kind of thinks that she felt it was her patriotic right to let the American people know, hey, this is what the government's hiding from you. So, do you consider her a patriot?
We thought she was going to be famous, not a felon.
You got the difference between a whistleblower and a leaker. A whistleblower is going to expose fraudulent, unlawful stuff that the government's doing and try to expose that, sort of like Snowden did with the surveillance. She's a leaker. Totally different. There is no whistleblower category for this woman.
No, she thought she was going to be the next Edward Snowden, and she's now a felon.
Yeah.
So
now
what
she's
was the
doing
memo,
10 years.
guys? What was in the memo that has blown this whole thing up? I
Well,
never
the
got.
memo
I
is
never
that-
got the memo.
Is that Trump asked Comey to drop the investigation?
Of Flynn.
Yeah, of Flynn, which ties right into Russia.
Right.
All right. Well, if they're, it doesn't matter who's up there. All it is a big show. But
Yeah,
if
it's
you
just-
want
this
to
is
get
all
really
a
all
big
pissy
show.
about it, you can go back to the Obama, the Clintons, the Bushes. All
see-
of them were caught red-handed doing stuff, and
But see,
everybody
the
pled
media-
the fifth, and it just went bye-bye.
When the media dropped this on everybody today, though, or a couple days ago, whenever the fuck it came out.
Today.
Okay. Well, whatever. It's information overload. Sorry. They made it sound like she had a complete dossier of the Russian hacking, and she didn't. It didn't even mention the Russian hacking or anything. All it was talking about Trump trying to impede in the investigation or whatever. It had absolutely nothing to do with Russia to begin with. So I don't know.
And
I
how
don't
do
know
we
what
know
I
any
seen.
of it's even
She
true?
released was showing that Putin tried to hack into 140 something of our voting machines,
Oh, come
and
on. I didn't see that part.
and then also tried to hack into like 100 something senators' emails.
I didn't see that.
Well, at this
either.
point, there was so much corruption.
I guess it depends on what tweet
you could
you saw.
throw a bean anywhere, and it would land on some kind of corruption from one side or the
this,
other.
This is the
Right.
House of Cards, and real time. I love House of Cards. It's an awesome show, and watching this real stuff happens even better than the fucking Hollywood production of it.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they have a new one out.
I'm
by
glued
the
to
way.
CNN now because you don't know what you're going to hear next.
Yeah, it's like a show. I don't watch any TV
And I'm
now, but
watching it
you're
now
right.
for the entertainment value because you know why? Because I know that this country's fixing to have a harsh reality, man. Something's fixing to happen big here. We haven't had a 9/11 since 9/11. We're fixing to have one. Something big is fixing to go down. I'm saying two things.
Oh,
Either
you're talking
one,
about
we're
those
fixing
big
to have
false flags.
a massive war that we haven't seen in ages, or we're fixing to have a massive terror attack we haven't seen here since 9/11.
Well, let's hope not.
I don't think it's going to be either of those things, man. I think they're
Or
just
we
going
could
to
have a
watch the
massive
economy.
economic collapse.
Yeah, the economy's just going to
Well, that is
fucking
gonna
wither
happen.
away.
Because I tell you
over the
what,
next
as soon as
couple
this
of months.
war breaks up with Qatar, Iran's going to mine the Straits of Hormuz, which is going to send oil up to about $300 a barrel as soon as they do it.
all the
Oh, Jesus.
real
How's
numbers.
that going to work?
That means you're going to be paying about $8 to $12 for a gallon of gas.
Well, I mean, if we could just hold on another 3.5 years, we'll get to vote and fix it all.
I don't think it's gonna
$8
make
to
that long.
$12 per gallon of gas.
$8 to $12. That'll be
That's what they-
overnight. You'll go to bed where your gas will be $2 or whatever it is where you live. You'll wake up the next morning. It'll be anywhere from $8 to $12, or even
That's what
I
they
drive
pay. That's what they
some
pay in
people
England
even
right
say
now.
up to $15 in California.
That's what
I
they
don't
pay
even
in
know how
England
they
right
do
now,
that.
man. I mean, you know, why is that such a shocker? They've been paying that kind of price in England for a long time already. Why is that such a shocker?
When I lived in Europe in the 90s,
We're
in
too
the 80s
pampered
and
here.
90s, I mean, they were paying $6-7 a gallon back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because our economy's not based on the same scenario, though.
Yeah, but we're a bunch of bitches over here.
You know, you think what's going to happen here when people wake up and go to get gas? $12 a gallon. It's going to be fucking riots.
I won't be able to afford to go to work.
That's
If you
exactly
go to,
it, and
if
this
you-
is where
if
the
you work
economic
7
crash
days a
comes
week
in.
and go to and from 7 days a week. You're driving to and from 7 days a week. I think I'd spend more in gas than what I'm making. at
Well,
that
this is
point.
where the economic collapse comes in, because as soon as oil hits $300 a barrel in less than 24 hours, it's shit city economic-wise worldwide, not just America, worldwide.
This is why
Yeah,
I've been
if you're
telling you
one of the
guys
people
for.
that keep the gas and get ready for something like that, like actually some people do that, and I know some people that do that. Not all of us can. So if you're the person that did save the gas and you can get to work, well, you're going to show up and work alone because not that many people are going to be coming in there.
You people
Till
aren't
you're
getting
beat
the
up
big
for your
picture,
gas.
man. You people aren't getting the big picture. When the economy stops, the entire economy is going to stop. There's not going to be any more. How am I getting it to work next week? Because there's not going to be any work next week.
That's
exactly it.
When
There
the
ain't
economy
gonna be no
stops,
work.
when the economy
Oil
stops,
prices hitting $300
stops.
a barrel will be crazy.
Yeah, but what about all
Sailboat.
the people that are having babies? How do you have a baby by yourself?
Hey, my beans came up. My
Well,
green
that's
beans
good.
coming up.
You better make a lot of friends. This is why I've been telling people for a long time: get out of the big cities because they're going to be death traps. You know, make yourself some friends, get yourself a little network of people, and fucking hold on, man. Tighten your bootstraps because it's getting ready to get rough. And I've been saying that for a long time, and it's just done nothing but progressively get more rough since
Well,
we started talking.
You know,
about
let me
this.
talk about something else that
Nobody's
happened.
ready for this.
Let me talk about something else that happened in the
There's a
Middle
few
East
of us that are.
yesterday.
Go ahead.
You know, what happened yesterday is we're fighting Syria and Iran over in Syria right now. You know, supposedly these safe zones that Russia and all them set up, one by Jordan. Iranian-backed militia has twice tried to come into that zone, in a protection zone, and both times we've blown them away. We did it one time last month, and we just did it again yesterday, even worse. We took out a shitload of Iranian fighters, Iranian militia fighters. We took out some Assad stuff, and we tried to say, well, we gave you a warning, we gave you a warning, we gave you a warning. The deal is we're already fighting right now. We're fighting Syria and we're fighting Iran, both over in Syria right now. We're coming out of Jordan. Jordans are coming out with us. We're there. Britain's there. We've got troops that we've been training that have been there. We've got a whole underground base in Jordan. It's built completely underground. And so we're coming out fighting now against Syria, against Iran directly. And Russia came out today. Putin came out today, says, no more. Says, you do that one more time, we're coming in. And this is from Putin today. And the deal is, if you read the American version, is that these Iranian militias have been pushing toward this deconfliction zone that's supposed to be a safe zone for troops and for civilians, whatever. And we've warned them every time, and they keep coming. And so we blew them away one time already last month. We thought they learned their lesson, and then boom, they came back with a bigger force yesterday and tried to cross the line, and then we really wasted them.
Did you see what QE said in the room there about minding the straits? He was on the USS Ranger back in 83 and 84 when it first started.
Yeah, I was on the USS Tisdale in 1984. I was over there in 1986.
Yeah, see, you guys got a lot in common. You might want to hook up and talk to each other.
We were escorting oil tankers in and out. That's when the USS Stark got blown up, and we were over there fighting fires and everything. That's when the USS Stark got hit with 2 missiles.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
And so,
All right,
you know,
keep going.
The deal is this: is we're fighting Syria and Iran already with proxy groups and with special forces right now over in Syria. So you're not hearing a lot on the news about that because everything else is covering it up.
So okay, let's talk about this for just a second. Then this whole Iran thing, because they got smacked in the mouth today. Who are they going to reach out and punch because of what happened today over there?
They said they blamed. They showed Iran's parliament.
They blamed Saudi Arabia.
Well, they were all chanting "Death to America." And so the
But
commander
they're-
came out. He blamed Saudi,
Yeah, they're
Egypt,
big-
America,
Right.
and he didn't blame Israel for once. They blamed us though, and they said that
We're just a
there
big
will be
extension of
blood
Israel.
over this. That's what Iran's direct quote today is: there will be blood over this.
Yeah. So that's I'm wondering.
I mean, this was a
what that's
well-coordinated attack in Iran. People don't understand these two places that got hit, Parliament and the tomb of Khomeini. There, the founder of that country, are the two most important places in Iran.
Yep.
These five fighters, some even dressed as women. They said when they did the attack, were dressed as women
Yep.
with veils on them and stuff. They said that these two spots that they hit was like kicking a person in their left nut and kicking a person in their right nut. They said that this was right at the heart of Iran, this attack early this morning. And they said there is no way Iran will sit still for this.
Well, it's funny because I was listening to Fox when I was driving in the car today, and they said they were talking about this attack. The very first phone call that was made, apparently there is a de-escalation hotline. De-escalation hotline. The first people they called were Russia and said that's on the de-escalation hotline. So I'm not sure that anything will happen about it.
Well, the de-escalation hotline, they say we talk on that thing, but the deal is this: when
It's probably Morse code.
and Putin came out today and says this is a red line. I take that for what he says. He doesn't mince words.
I agree.
Putin came directly out and said that
I respect him more than I respect
this isn't
anybody
going to happen anymore. He says, America, this is twice you've done this, and this is twice we've told you don't do it. And we're like telling Russia, well, if we don't do it, these Iranian militias are going to come across this deflection zone and start fighting with the rebels that we support over there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what our reasoning is. That's what this safe zone's all about. And basically, these safe zones that Russia, Turkey, and Assad drew up are all areas where their soldiers can be that can't be attacked. And so we said, fine, we'll go along with it, but we want one too where our soldiers and our rebels can't be attacked. And so they said, fine, you can have that. Yours is over here by Jordan, then, where your base is. This is your zone. No one can cross that zone. You don't cross our shit line. We don't cross your shit line. And so we're saying, none of our rebels, none of our special forces have threatened any of Russia's or Assad's or Turkey's confliction zones, but yet they're fucking with ours.
How does any of this make any fucking sense? If we're at war, we go to a nation, we slaughter everybody. What is this safe zone? It's like fucking kids playing tag on the playground.
It's just words, man. It's just words.
It's like the snowflakes in college that have to have their little safe areas because
All it is words, man.
they're
It's just
delicate
words to keep the people
and taken
occupied with listening to something, right? I mean, this whole fucking thing is scripted. Every single thing they're doing is scripted. It's been talked about for years.
Wait a minute, listen, would anybody be surprised at all if just out of the blue Trump came onto the television and all the cameras came in and he said, "We got you, America. You are punked." If it were something that Twilight Zone,
it's not gonna.
That
it's not
wouldn't
gonna
even surprise me at this point.
No,
I don't buy that.
The people that are in charge
we
are
are
not
punked.
going to willingly give up their power, right? This is all. They've been doing this for over 100 fucking years, man. They've been doing it for over 1,000 years if you follow the bloodlines back far enough. So this is all scripted. It's been sometimes a wrench gets tossed in the works and they have to back shit up every once in a while, but they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. And until the people stop buying into the bullshit, it's just going to keep going right along.
Well,
but now they're much more organized than they ever were before.
They've got more technology now than they've ever had before, too. But the technology that they're using is 50 years more advanced than the shit we know about. So, they got you in a catch-22.
All the cortocracies or whatever it's called, and then all the
These people are Satanists, man. These people are Satanists. They're listening to demons and they're doing their bidding, and we're all suffering because of it.
Exactly.
Well, another thing that I'm watching is Ukraine's lighting back up again. They're really going at it over there in Ukraine, and over in Donetsk area and all that. People are losing their civilians are getting hit right and left over there big time. Again. But the big thing that people need to know in September, there's a massive, biggest drill Russia's ever had with Belarus. It's over in Belarus. They're going to be staging massive drills, biggest drill Russia's ever staged with Belarus. They have drills usually every couple of years, but this is the biggest one they've ever had. I think Putin is sending something like 400,000 soldiers over there. The deal is this is Lithuania over there by Kaliningrad, which is a Russian piece of land between over there in the Baltic area that separates. Is putting a fence up because these drills are going to come out of Kaliningrad too, and so we've been pushing NATO forces over there right and left. Every day there's another batch of NATO forces arriving to the Baltic states right on Russia's border there, and so we're preparing that Russia's going to. We're saying that Russia's not. This isn't a drill coming up in September. That Putin's going to make his move. I look at it as basically they're telling the world we're going to make our move and blame it on Putin. And so they're preparing for that, and this is going to go down in the beginning of September, and so NATO's just been pumping troops unbelievably, tanks, jets, copters, everybody, 4 different countries over there. I think Germany, us, Britain, and another country have been pumping troops over there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to really watch, and like I said, this is a world war going down right now. Whether people want to label it or not, this is a world war. I've never seen so much war being fought in my 50 years on this earth at one time in so many different places.
Look at what else is going on, man. I mean, you're trying to tell me that all these...
Get all that stuff... I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
When they get all that stuff together all at the same time, they get everything put together, it's like they've got to use their toys. I mean, they're going to get themselves all worked up to use their toys and then what, go home? It's just like our military police here that have all their toys now, and they use them every chance they get.
Mm-hmm. They don't spend all that money for nothing.
With going out with the carriers over in Korea, they're pulling a fast one on that because there's various reports coming out, and they all say completely opposite. It's like South Korea is saying that the Vincent's already heading back to San Diego. That the Reagan that's stationed in Japan has left Korean waters too. There's no more carriers in Korean waters right now. The Nimitz left last Thursday over there from California. They're steaming for the area. So you'll hear one story that's saying, oh, those 2 carriers, they're still there. They're still there along with Japan's amphibious carrier, and the Nimitz is going to meet up with them, and we're going to have 3 carriers off the coast of the Korean Peninsula. Now, like I said, it depends what story you read and what you want to believe, but there's something fishy going on because they keep they're throwing so much info and disinfo out there to make you realize, oh, there's 3 carriers there. Oh, there's no carriers there now. The Nimitz is going to get there, replace the Vincent, and the Vincent's going to leave. Oh, the Vincent's already left, and Reagan left Korea. So they're throwing something up with that too. Right. And like I said, South Korea.
I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them boys on them ships out floating around them because I'm pretty sure one of them's going to go to the bottom.
Well, the funny thing is this, Jimmy, is that South Korea came out, the new liberal President Moon they got there. He's the most liberalist president they ever had. He wants talks with North Korea. He doesn't want war. He thinks that they can handle it through, through mediation and everything, which isn't going to work. North Korea's been giving him the finger. But still, he came out and he's pissed because he said that there's 6 THAAD missile launchers here, and there's only supposed to be 2, and that his defense minister didn't tell him about the other 4. And then all of a sudden, the president found out that there were 6 there and not 2, and so the president said, "I'm putting a ban on this right now." He said, "I don't want those other 4." He said, "I'll allow the 2 that were already here before I became president." He said, "But these other 4 are not going to go online until I do a complete environmental evaluation of the whole situation." What's that got to do with anything? Who fucking knows? It's just his way of saying that he's nervous. He doesn't want the 2 THAAD missile launchers there, let alone 4 more. And so he suspended the other 4, which pissed us off. What was funny is right after he said, I'm suspending these, all of a sudden Little Kim launches 4 anti-ship missiles. And the very next thing we do tonight, we tell that president, see, this is why you need the other 4 launchers online. He's launching missiles. So it's something very suspicious about how this happened. They're saying Little Kim knew that Moon banned these other 4 launchers, so Little Kim thought he'd be cocky and launched these 4 missiles today. So it's like, what do you believe here? You know, it's kind of funny how Little Kim launches these missiles, and we play it to our to our side, telling South Korea, "Oh, you need these other 4 launchers. Look, you just launched 4 missiles today." So basically, instead of condemning Little Kim for launching those missiles today, we applauded them because it gave us backing to tell that new liberal president, "You need these other 4 tubes online." See what I'm saying?
Can't we use the shipping chart,
Yeah, that was in the
just like the air
backyard.
traffic chart, to verify just how many carriers are over there right now? I mean, that they can't hide that because that's a worldwide shipping chart that they have to locate themselves at all times.
Well, you can go on the Navy's website and they'll tell you, but they're not in live time. They'll tell you where they're at, but they could be from like a week ago. They don't update regularly. I check it all the time, and they don't update but like once a week. So, I mean, you could go back and look maybe next week, and it might tell you, you know, like I said, I don't. It's hard to say. I've read so many conflicting stories about the Vincent still being there, about the Vincent heading back. It's a fact that the Nimitz is heading that way.
I
That's
have
a
a gun
given.
wrap this.
What's that?
No, nothing. Sorry.
I'm back,
Oh.
by the way. Somebody come up the fucking drive, man. This has been an active night here on the Chiefs place. At Chiefs place, man. I got moms being really active tonight, and the car comes down the driveway in the middle of the fucking night. Yeah, that shit don't happen around here. So they didn't even stop to say hi. I went out there. I had a gun in my hand, but you know, still, I went out there to say hi. They didn't even stop. They just drove off. Anyway, I'm back though.
Might have gotten lost.
Well, it's a possibility, but you don't really get lost around here. You either know where you're going or you don't. You know, you don't. My driveway doesn't look like a side road. It looks like a driveway. There's a mailbox down at the end of it, and I mean, they knew that they were turning up somebody's driveway.
And yeah.
I got you, QE. I got you. I'll get you added up, man. We'll probably. I don't know if I'm gonna bring you in on this show because I got a full plate right now, but I will definitely get you added on to next week's program, probably. So,
The only thing that I see right now that just came out about the U.S. carriers, it says, according to Yonhap, which is South Korea's news agency, they're saying that the carriers are not in the Korean Peninsula. It says, but they're not saying where they're at. So they could be right outside of it sailing around. They're just saying they're not in the same area that they have been in for the past couple of weeks. So they could be anywhere right now around that area. I think they're cruising between Japan and probably the EC.
Well, you can bet Little Kim knows where they're at. We need to get a hold of him.
Well, that's why he launched those 4 anti-ship missiles today, basically to give a warning that, you know, I know you're out there somewhere. The question is, can he actually find our ships and hit them? I don't think so.
Got 100 subs. I'm sure he can find something in a haystack.
Well, he might with those subs. I mean, they're not very good quality, though, man. I don't know. Like I said, he's got a big army and he's got a lot of stuff, but his stuff is very antiquated, man. Even his planes.
hey, man, keep it simple. Keep it simple. When you got a bunch of technological, computerized bullshit, one little short circuit and your fucking shit's down. If it's manually operated, it'll keep on banging away. So,
You know, like I said, that drill's supposed to be coming up this month sometime in South Korea, where they practice evacuating 230,000 American citizens to Japan.
yeah.
And that's supposed to be coming up sometime this month, and a carrier will be involved in that. But you know, that's crazy. You know,
May I ask, why in the fuck would we move them into Japan so they can be radiated fucking instead of shot?
Hey, man, that's where they
doesn't
want to have
make
the
a whole lot of
Olympics.
sense to me.
That's where they want to have the Olympics in 2020.
That'd be great. Outstanding.
Well, yeah, they're also having some big. They're having when they have the Olympics, they're having two Olympic baseball games right at Fukushima in the city.
That's
I'm sure it's all fine. Brilliant. I mean, they told us nothing was coming here, so I mean, I think it's probably fine.
Yeah, until our
Japan
starting lineup gets
farmers
eaten by
over there that had
pigs.
land over there in that area, and they were kicked off when that earthquake went down and that shit happened. Japan is saying, quote unquote, we're letting these farmers go back to their land over there because they want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so these fuckers are going back to
That's how they make a
ground
living.
zero.
That's how they make a living. Ain't nobody else going to feed them or pay for their fucking house or, clothe them or whatever. They got to make a living, right? They're farmers. That's how they make their living. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and they're probably getting all the propaganda that tells them everything is fine. And they're not, probably not highly educated and don't think for themselves. So they probably just think everything is fine. Go back to growing some food.
They can probably double or triple the size of their old land, too, by going back.
Right. Just take somebody else's property over that's not going to return. That's a whole different culture over there, man. The Japanese people are a cool fucking culture. Seriously cool culture. So I've seen stories of people that didn't evacuate. They stayed there because they had farm animals and stuff to take care of, and you know what I mean? And they just didn't leave. They didn't follow the evacuation orders, and they're still kicking, So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
They probably all got huge bulges out of the side of their neck, but yeah, they stayed.
That one guy didn't look too awful bad. I mean, he had a little more gray hair, but other than that, he was still walking around barefoot, slopping the hogs, and although the pigs are radiated and they have wild boars.
At least he had hair.
Yeah, true. So I think the majority of the radiation is going off into the ocean just because of prevailing winds and such. But I don't know. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a fucking, what do they call themselves on the Weather Channel? Meteorologist. I don't know. I just see what I see.
Well, it's got to be fixed. They don't talk about it anymore.
Right. So let's jump down some rabbit holes. Who's got some rabbit hole stories, man? We got like 45 minutes left. I got one thing that I want to put on here toward the end of the show, but we still got probably 20 or 30 minutes to kill before I stick that on. So, anybody got any rabbit hole stories? Kim, you said you were going to check a couple of vote.co or...
Well, I got stuck in a small, strange little rabbit hole that I did not intend to at all. It wasn't even on my radar or something I wanted to study at this point. But I went into vote.co and I went into the Pizzagate area in vote.co.
Nice.
And yeah, there are stories that are keeping this in, just like Seth Richin. I mean, there are people that are continuing to maintain this because it's real. And what I went down was a Dick Cheney rabbit hole. And for some reason, I got into it. So the fifth one down, I looked and it said Dick Cheney, this and that. So I went ahead and opened it because once I found out about 9/11 and what he did in 9/11, the stuff I heard from the one. Anyway, so that's another rabbit hole. So anyway, apparently he's a major pedophile, and there was a
he's a really bad shot too. I remember back when he shot that one cat in the face when they were out pigeon hunting or whatever.
Oh, I remember.
He's a really bad shot too. So
I remember that, Jimmy.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But real quick, this guy from the witness that is now grown up, and he had to go through, just hell, but he survived it. And his thing out to the world is that he was that young 12-year-old that was set loose out there somewhere in Wyoming, which is where Dick Cheney was the one congressman for the whole state, from what this thing said. They set him loose naked and then hunted him down. That's some kind of weird, I don't know that's
Imagine that.
And then he gets raped in the end, and Dick Cheney beat him up and raped him.
Was that supposed to be a pun? Getting raped in the end?
Oh gosh, no,
sorry.
Actually, no.
That was bad dark humor.
That's what I thought. I'm like, you got ass rape?
Oh well, of course he was
Probably.
a man. He was a young man.
Yeah.
How else would you do that?
That's wild.
But anyway, so it was very disturbing. It's not surprising to me, of course. I mean, but he was just saying that this is well beyond like a human, kind of like a Satan, you know. I mean, just a.
I got to tell you,
horrible
the audio
thing.
tape that I heard of the guy, I'm not going to say, you know, for definitely sure who it was, but it sounded like it to me. But Podesta, when you hear him speak, and then you hear that tape of the guy that's just going after that little girl and fucking screaming at her and calling her names and shit, those voice tracks are identical to me. To my ear, they're identical. I'm not
Podesta's as dirty.
I'm not a serious audiophile, but you know, I've been doing radio for a while, and I like what I like, and I you know, my ears are pretty sensitive to good music and shit like that. Those two voices sound identical to me. So, and you know, Podesta's just a creepy motherfucker anyway, man. Him and his brother are both, ugh, fuck. If I had the opportunity, I'd stick a hole in.
I don't know if this is appropriate, so maybe I'll ask
Go ahead,
Jimmy, and then we'll talk about it. Well, one of these particular radio hosts that kind of irritates you, even though you like him, he's nice, but you can't really find yourself listening to him because he's too wordy. I don't need to go any further, maybe.
Yeah.
New York. Anyway, he was talking about Podesta and someone else, and he was kind of like downplaying, and I was shocked. I really was. I feel like he lost a subscriber because I've always watched him, but he was downplaying the pedo thing for Podesta. Or, yeah. It just was like, I couldn't believe it. I could
You talking
not
about
believe
Howard
it.
Stern?
Hmm?
You talking about Howard Stern?
No, it was Lionel Nation. He kind of downplayed
Lionel?
like the whole thing. There was no proof behind it. And I was just like, oh man, that just like totally ruined.
If you see the word pedophile,
I couldn't believe it. And he's against the pedos,
look,
but he
man,
downplayed Podesta's
he looks like a
involvement.
fucking pedophile to me.
Oh, well, I don't know what a pedo looks like, but I guess. I mean, not to me, he doesn't. I'm just saying that was shocking that he kind of downplayed it. I never saw that coming. He's not okay with all this pedo stuff going on in the world. So when he did that, I just like couldn't believe it. You could have knocked me over with a feather. You know?
What happened?
I don't know. Did Jimmy leave? I can't see because I'm not in front of the computer.
Well, if you need a picture, next time I get excited over my wife, Brenda, I'll take a photograph and you'll know what a pedophile looks like. There's 5 years difference between us.
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, that was so romantic. Even it was kind of creepy, but other than the creepy part, that was very nice.
Yeah, it did sound kind of creepy, didn't it, Kim?
It kind of sounded a little creepy, but it sounded like you were being creepy in a loving way.
Yeah, kinky was where I was headed, not creepy.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll see that. Okay.
Yeah, and you're disqualified. My ex-wife was 10 years younger, so you're disqualified. I mean, as long as you're all adults, but you know, I don't get that whole pedophile thing. I mean, look around. The country is, you know, the country is full of sluts. Okay, do you have to mess with the kids?
Yeah,
Can't you leave the kids alone?
It's the world. This is a global
Well, it is. Yeah,
pedophile ring, and it's been going on since history goes all the way back. But now it's become very organized and financially organized, and it is a system, and it is bad. It is really bad. And these kids, this torture, and then these deaths. I mean, this is just unbelievable. These things. I couldn't imagine. Like not wanting to help them, and then how do you do it? It's such a controlled corruption that just like everything else, it's like where do you go? Where do you turn? And that was part of that story too. He was like, where do you turn? Where do you go? That was part of the story of this Project Monarch Butterfly or whatever that he had been part of and had to endure and suffer like that with that idiot Dick Cheney that's just destroyed everybody with his military industrial complex money.
Well, as far as what do you do and where do you go? First, you buy a sailboat. You learn how to captain it, and then as far as where you're going, that would depend on the wind, and then you're fine. That's what I've come to. I mean, there's like all the stuff we all have talked about for a decade, myself or more, for a lot of you guys,
Yeah.
and now we're here. Like Jimmy said earlier, progressively worse. Every time we talk about it, worse. And there's just, you got to, I came to the point that I fought so long and hard to try to help fix things
Yeah.
that I can't do it. It's wasted time. It's like casting your pearls before swine. You
I
have
think
to
there's a lot of
take
people
care of
that are like
yourself.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, if I can help somebody, if an individual or a group shows that they're going to put in equal effort and that they
Like
really
they're
care
worthy.
enough to take work. Yeah, if they're, but you get so many people, so many organizations, help us, and then you do the research and they're connected to things that you can't
Yeah.
affiliate with, or they don't put in the work. They want you to do the work for their cause,
And give
and
them
then.
money.
Yeah, and so it's just like, man, I can only help the individuals who happen to understand what I'm saying if they catch me when I'm speaking to them, because I can't push myself the way I did to no avail. You know what I mean?
You just
Yeah,
have to
I'm
be
just-
really thoughtful and, as to how much time you're willing to give something and what your limitations are before accepting.
Right, yeah, and I mean, I've come to the reality that, I'm going to be more effective by continuing on the path that I'm in and showing people that it works, and the ones that grab a hold of it, they're going to grab a hold of it anyway. You know what I mean? And they'll ask questions and they'll go out of their way to get more information, but I can't force the information on people
True.
and wait for them to say, here's the proof. You need to wake up now. And,
Yeah.
I get so
that way.
No, I get so pissed off. You can, take an easy one for me, chemtrails. Okay, if you go to weathermodification.com, you'll find out that the Department of Defense is one of the top clients. We don't have to just talk about whether it's real or not anymore. There's the proof that it is. Now you have to understand that it's not just to control the weather, it's being used as a weapon. Defense and weather are worlds apart. They should not be connected in any way.
I agree.
They are. And so if you can't see that for what it is, if you're still going to argue with me about it, once I show you that, there's absolutely nothing I can do to help you. You're going to die in the street or go to a damn FEMA camp or whatever. There's nothing I can do for you.
Or they'll be the ones that show up at your house because they know, you remember that old saying when you were kids, when the grasshopper played while the ants worked and the world owed him a living, and then when winter came he almost died, and then the ants actually did take care of him. Well, all these people that aren't willing to listen and that actually they like you, they don't know what to say other than I don't care, Kim.
Right.
They really like you. They don't know what to say. They really don't care. And they're honest enough to come out and say it. And it's like, okay, well, don't show up at my house and try to, have me take care of you. Because, I'm one of
Right.
the only people in the whole place that made any effort to do anything. Because
Right.
I have a feeling that's going to be a problemo.
Yeah, it will. You're right. And that's, for me, you're going to have to know how to swim real well. Yeah. So, you're not going to just show up at my house and think you're going to take my shit that I prepared for this for. No, because I'm, I'm
don't
out.
tell me how you don't care, and you're basically mocking me to my face, but then,
Right.
need me to help you survive when the shit hits the fan, which
Hey,
nobody
Kevin?
wants that to happen.
Kevin,
Right. Yes.
back up away from your
like
microphone
Alan.
just a smidgen, man. You're super loud.
Really.
Ellen was building chicken coops down there in Kentucky. I think it was Kentucky. And
Yes.
he was showing people how to build the damn things, and then he was selling them, hardly worth what the time he put in, so he could take care of his family. Well, something fell apart, but he got enough together to go to New Hampshire. I remember that. I think it was New Hampshire. And, he showed everybody that he not only talks the talk, he actually lives the walk. You know, and there's a difference of a lot of people. You know, I see a lot of people sit behind computers and talk shit, but they never do anything. You never see anything productive from them. So they're non-productive people. So they have their energy there expressing,
kind of like Congress and the Senate.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Vaughn. You know, and you were always one of those that you didn't have to guess what your motivations were either. And now I've fallen away from YouTube, so I don't keep up with a lot of you guys.
Kevin,
they terminated my channel. Yeah.
You are super loud, dude. Just tone it down just a smidgen, brother. Just a smidgen. I mean,
I don't know.
You are.
Let me move the mic away, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm on
please.
a headset and mobile, so
yeah, something.
Sounds like
put it up by your forehead or something.
Is that a little better?
There you go. That sounds 100% better, man.
Okay, good. I'll talk.
Sound like he was talking on a set of Eagles or a tram.
Right.
In the old days.
All right, go ahead.
I thought that was.
Finish
I
your
just
thought.
thought that was my phone. That why his voice was so loud.
But I followed you for a while, Kevin, there on Daily Motion. I've had a channel on Daily Motion, oh, good God, for, I don't know, 8 years. Whenever Daily Motion came out, I created a channel, and I know you did too.
Yeah, and I don't get really nearly as many views as I did on YouTube, not even a fraction, but I don't care about that. And YouTube terminated my channel on false reports. People don't understand that YouTube, there's hardly any people that work there, and scripts can be run to false flag your videos repeatedly by fake accounts created. They can run a software, a script, and get your channel terminated without any human ever interacting.
That is so not fair.
And I lost, I had over 1.5 million video views, 1,200 videos, 5 years on that channel, and it was terminated for videos that had been on YouTube for 2 goddamn years.
Wow, what happened?
Well, somebody got wise within the movement, and they were warned, don't bring me into your little games, and she did, and so I doxed her, and they took the dox down, and so then I put it on Pirate Pad, and unless you can get an international warrant, you're not going to take the goddamn thing down. It's still there right now. So their only retaliation was to get my YouTube channel terminated, which any script kiddie can do. And so I said, if this is the way it is, I'm not going to create another channel. I'm not going to deal with YouTube. I'm just not going to do it. There was too much effort just gone in the blink of an eye.
That's like
somebody
having
got
a book
mad.
just disappear after you wrote it for 4 years or something.
It really sucks. Now, Daily Motion is more family orientated. I mean, I've had some videos pulled for saying the F word too loudly. But that's just how they do it there. But they tried to do that false report crap at Daily Motion, and I just sent an email, and it was cleared right up, and the videos were restored. So at least there's some human contact. I can work with that. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube, all it takes at YouTube is to get 3 flags in 8 weeks. If you get 3 videos flagged in 8 weeks, they terminate your channel. Boom. It's that simple.
Yeah, they can do it in 5 minutes with the script.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes, your channel's done if they want it to be. And so, I mean, that puts everybody at risk, and I just can't put that kind of effort into watching something just disappear.
You can be in the middle of disputing them. And, even in the middle of your dispute or whatever, if you get 2 more, boom, it's done. They take your channel down. Even if you win the dispute, it's no longer valid because your channel's been terminated. So I've seen it happen to some big channels, too.
4 channels I've lost. Going all the way back to 2008 or someplace. But there's another one out there called VidMe, Kevin, that I've got set up myself, the Old Marine One. It's a good place. You can put music and everything there.
I've got an account at VidMe. I've got an account at the new Steemit place. But you're not waking anybody up there, right? I mean, you're not speaking to a new crowd. It's everybody that's on those sites is already they're already anti-establishment. So you're not really good. You can't wake anybody up. You know what I mean? You're preaching to the choir, so to speak.
Yeah, but one thing I like that's the one neat thing about you're not waking anyone up is that when you could openly have dialogue with people about things that interesting to you that are most likely interesting to them, and you'll get a response that might change your viewpoint or ideas. That's a good part of it.
Well, I like to open those channels up and raise hell right out of the gate, like play music and come from the underworld at people and just see what the response is from the controllers. And if the controllers let me be, then I'll start putting some more tasteful information out there. Other than that, I'm just a radical human being, always will be. That's why if you go to my channel right now, when you go there and you visit it, it plays The Angels Will Never Die, because that's how I feel,
Mm-hmm.
Those
Right.
are true Americans. They're the true last Americans. I don't give a shit what the politics are. Government made them criminals because that's how life is, but they were just a bunch of good old boys at one time, and now they're criminals. That's how
I thought you were talking about real angels would never die.
real angels never die. Nobody ever really dies, Kim.
No, I thought you meant like angels from heaven would never die.
They
You mean
don't.
like motorcycle angels? Are you talking?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The Hell's Angels, Kim.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Yeah, I have quite a few friends who are Hell's Angels. Sons of Silence. And
Yeah, no, I'm right in there with you, Vaughn. I'm right in there with you. I know a lot of Hell's Angels members, and I mean, you see those guys. They're taking care of the kids. They're taking care of their own. They're drawing hard lines, and they're standing on them. They're not wavering. You can agree
So
or
why did the
disagree.
government do that?
Well, because we're all criminals according to the government.
But why did they specifically pick on the Hells Angels? Probably just because they were like actually not
They
bad
don't-
guys.
They don't pay taxes. They do their own
Oh.
thing. They fly their own flag. You know what I mean? They don't pay any attention to the laws and shit. They do that.
okay.
And it's
they
not
need
just the
somebody
Hell's
to do
Angels.
their
I mean,
drugs and their guns.
yeah, it's not just the Hell's
Right.
Angels either, though. I mean, it's the Banditos and the Sons of Silence
Yep.
and
No,
everybody.
the government doesn't
everybody.
want competition.
Right, exactly. And you'd be
Yeah, I'm not-
amazed. You'd be amazed at how many bikers that are in quote unquote gangs are ex-military men. It'd really shock you.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
Well,
You know,
I'm speaking
Vaughn
to-
brought up a good point, though. I'd like to expand on just quickly about not dying, and I've come to that reality that I don't think there is death, only change. And I'll present this for everybody to just think about. If you shoot a cow and you make burger or steak or whatever, okay, out of the cow, right? So now it's a steak, and you're going to eat that, and so now that steak turns into a human being. Did that cow ever die, or did it turn into a human being? I say it turned into a human being.
We just absorb
There's no death. There's transformation. There's no death, and that is where they have control. Death. Everybody's scared of it. Even the ones that religious, they're sure they're going to heaven. They're still scared to die. You don't see any of them saying, "I trust my God enough to hang myself. Goodbye, world." No, they're not doing that. They're scared they have no hope at all. I don't know what I'm going to transform into it. Whatever. I mean, doesn't really matter. Maybe some big fish will eat me. And
I hope not.
whatever. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just part of the process.
Yeah, true. I get it.
That's what I
rather
think.
that than something horrible from like a human taking you out. I'd rather a fish eat me than some nasty human do something to me.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something to ponder anyway in your deepest
Interesting.
lonely hours. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's
It's
what
just
all
what I
about.
think, so
We're
it's
just-
probably not worth shit, but it's just,
But that's
Energy.
your
What was it?
perception.
Energy,
That's
frequency, and vibration. That's what
Yep.
Tesla said. Energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's
Yep,
all we
that's
are.
the
We're
whole
just an energy. This is we're spiritual beings having a human experience right now.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's here to learn something, So keep your ear to the ground and keep trudging on, because we're all here for a reason. We're here to learn something, and I think if we don't learn it the first time around, we keep coming back until we get it figured out, and then we get a chance to pass on to the next realm, whatever that may be. So that's
My
my
suggestion
personal
is-
beliefs.
My suggestion is get you a handful of dirt, get some seeds, plant it, and grow something and watch it grow, because the miracle is the Lord takes over and makes it grow.
I
You're-
love watching stuff
it's the
grow.
You know,
Yep.
and if more people would do that self-sufficiently, you know, it would create a whole new movement. But you can't get people off the couch to go do nothing. You know, if it ain't
No.
or in a cupboard, they don't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
No, it is quite disturbing. You're right. People will not, even they'll say, "Wow, that's awesome. That's a great idea." But I've got to watch football or whatever the hell they're doing. You know, it is pretty disturbing that people will even agree with you and
Well, they'll
say
say-
that they should do it, but they won't do it.
They'll say,
Hey,
"Oh,
have
that's
all of-
that's
have
so
all of
cool,
you
man. I wish I could have that." You can, motherfucker. Get up and go get it. You know what's stopping you?
Have all of you guys had a chance to like go into a tomato field and pick tomatoes, or a strawberry field and pick strawberries?
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Raspberries, blueberries.
Isn't that like the best feeling when you're out there?
Oh yeah, you're complete within the plant world. The air
Yes. I
and the
know, I
dirt-
love it.
I love it until I get home because I'm a berry freak and I eat so many that by the time I get home I end up having diarrhea. So-
Yeah, I love yeah, but I mean, it's neat to be able to cook with fresh things like that too. I mean, I just cannot. When I try to wrap my mind around these things that I've learned and that I truly believe that just from my own studies are definitely the reality that we face, I still think about all that, and I think, is it going to change all that too? And then I think, of course it is. We're not even going to have trucking to move that stuff, even if we could grow it. So
Right.
yeah, sucks.
So
you gotta do it better. It's awesome.
Sorry, I have a bird.
we're down here to the last 20 minutes of the show, and I want to play this for everybody. I don't know how many of you follow me on Twitter or follow my Facebook posts or whatever, but there was a video that I tweeted out earlier today from TrueStream Media. Aaron and Melissa Dykes. You know, you guys know I love them, and I promote them whenever I can because I think they're good people. But they came out with this new one, and it's pretty interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a look-see. And let me jump back over here to the OBS. Make sure I get everything going here. Bing, bang, boom. Okie dokie. Bow. There we go. All right. So everybody on the mic, shush! And everybody out there that's in YouTube land, on the world weird web, give this a listen. Check it out.
So, if you've seen the last episode of Cold Noir, you will have seen that we've included a lot of patents. I specifically stopped short of including this patent because after reading through it pretty thoroughly, I decided that this needed its own video. We're surrounded by so much technology, and it has become so integrated into our lives that I don't think people even realize some of what these things can do. I honestly don't think at this point that we are taught traditionally almost anything about how the world actually works. They churn everybody out in public schools to walk around just blind to everything. Just a mindless consumer, no critical thought, just sitting in front of your television, being programmed. That's why they call it programming. This is one of the creepiest patents I've ever read. And it's a real this is the thing. This is, I mean, you watch sci-fi shows and horror movies, and oh, that's scary for 2 hours, but you read something like this, and then you just start thinking about how everything really works. I mean, we've not been told. We haven't been told how we work, okay? Let alone how everything else does. And then you come to something like this. So I have had this patent in a folder printed off for a while. I've been meaning to talk about it. And then I saw recently Richie from Boston covered this, actually. And I was like, wow, that's kind of rare that he got this sent to him too. Good. I hope more people are talking about things like this. This is the kind of stuff that's actually going on in the reality that we're all sharing. This is United States patent number 6,506,148B2, dated January 14th, 2003. And this is the 10th in a series of patents by this particular man, all about manipulation of your nervous system, and in some ways remote manipulation, subliminal manipulation, and he ended with this one here, nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. And I just wanted to go over this with you because this is a thing that exists, and it existed over a decade ago, well before they made the forced switch to digital, where they can layer the signals, and if there is anything strange in that, you're not going to see the interference, right? This has to do with physiological effects that have been observed in human subjects in response to stimulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields pulsed with certain frequencies near half a hertz or 2.4 hertz, such as to excite a sensory resonance. Many computer monitors and TV tubes, when displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields of sufficient amplitudes to cause such excitation. It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. For the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in a program material or overlaid by modulating a video stream, either as an RF signal or video signal. The image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. For certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory resonances in nearby subjects may be generated even as the displayed images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. In other words,
I hope you
don't
people are
even know
paying
they're
attention.
doing it. And then he has all these lovely drawings to go with this, which are just great. Actually, I have a favorite. It's this one right here. Remote computer, internet, her computer, her monitor, her. You see that? They can do this remotely, and you don't even know that it's being done to you. And there's the kids. Got to have the kids in there. Anyway, he goes on to say that the electric field in studies by Norbert Wiener, that would be the father of cybernetics back during World War II and the Cold War, was arranged to provide a direct electrical driving of the brain. That's what this kind of stuff is based on. And he goes on to say that it's been found that indeed physiological effects can be induced in the manner by very weak electric fields if they're pulsed with a frequency near half a hertz. The observed effects, which is just the ones they had for this particular patent, include ptosis of the eyelids, which means your eyelids close and flutter, relaxation, drowsiness, the feeling of pressure at a centered spot on the lower edge of your brow, seeing moving patterns of dark purple and greenish yellow when your eyes are closed, a tonic smile, a tense feeling in your stomach, sudden loose stool, and sexual excitement, all depending upon the precise frequency used and the skin area to which this field is applied. So, you ever watch a movie and you're not really feeling it all that much? Let's say it's a romantic movie and you're not really feeling it, and something happens and the two characters are swooning and they play that swell of music, and even though you're not really feeling it and you kind of think the movie's lame, you still get emotional and you start crying. Or like when people used to cry at long distance commercials back when we had long distance commercials. I don't know, I'm probably dating myself now and how old I am when I say stuff like that, but the point is, we've all had moments in watching movies or different things where your emotions don't match how you really feel based on the film, and you could just say that's creative filmmaking. But when you see something like this, you gotta wonder, is it also something like this? Because they can do this. And he's saying right here they have the ability to. And if you read at the first page again, this patent is based on years worth of other patents. So it isn't like he just came up with this off the spot. He's got 10 of his own patents based on doing this kind of stuff. Then he goes on to say in the summary that the implementation of the invention is adapted to the source of video stream that drives the monitor, be it a computer program, a TV broadcast, a videotape, or a DVD. And a program written in Visual Basic is particularly suitable for use on computers that run Windows 95 or 98. That's how basic this technology is. Okay? It does not take much. They could use Visual Basic to run it on Windows 95. Okay? So, and this is all those years ago. I have no idea what they have today. And it is to the point that at the end of his own patent, in the summary, this man, Hendrikus Lewes, says Certain monitors can emit electromagnetic field pulses that excite a sensory resonance in a nearby subject through image pulses that are so weak as to be subliminal. This is unfortunate since it opens a way for mischievous application of the invention whereby people are exposed unknowingly to manipulation of their nervous systems for someone else's purposes. Such application would be unethical and is of course not advocated. It is mentioned here in order to alert the public to the possibility of covert abuse that may occur while being online, while watching TV, a video, or a DVD. I've read a lot of patents actually in my day, and I've never seen somebody warn in their own patent of the covert misuse of something the way that guy just did in his own patent. What makes it even more disconcerting is when you look up information about this, and other people have looked up because they've seen all these patents and they went, what the hell? And if you go look at his history, it becomes much more disconcerting that he's coming up with these things. It wasn't like he just thought of this by himself and randomly came up with it. This is a guy who during the 50s was working with Plasmodine Corporation and then Douglas Aircraft's Advanced Research Department. Douglas Aircraft, of course, linked to Lawrence Rockefeller, lots of black Cold War projects going on with them. Then he went on in the 80s and started working on government projects as a contractor with the likes of the Department of Defense, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. So that's Hendrikus Luz, and they go on to say in this article that he had a website called qwave.com, but it's nothing more of a copy of a site. But I actually went back to Wayback Machine and found the old website that this guy started. And after reading through Are You Sensitive to Electric Fields and the Q&A that he has here, I feel like the guy almost has remorse for what he Are You Sensitive to Electric Fields and the Q&A that he has here, I feel like the guy almost has remorse for what he... So he wanted to warn people about it, and that's kind of what I get, the sense I get from this website of his that he had up at the time.
Sorry, that was
no longer
YouTube,
a
not
current
me.
website, but back in the day he had this, and he said that depending on these frequencies, relaxation, drowsiness, sexual arousal, he knew he could cause all these things with this program. And he says that electric field pulses capable of exciting a sensory resonance can be generated by small insulated electrodes packed flat in the space of a credit card. So it doesn't take much for this. This can be just put right into the television monitor. It can be put right into your VCR, your VHS tapes. I mean, computer programs, anything. Computer monitors, whatever, right? Since we cannot sense the field directly, our nervous system can thereby be manipulated covertly for someone else's purposes. And then he was selling for rather cheap, $14 at the time, a program that you could buy and put onto your computer, and then you could test it on yourself to see how susceptible you are to this. And that's what his whole website is about. And then under the Q&A section, he's got all of his other patents. And like I said, you have everything here. Subliminal acoustic manipulation of your nervous system, manipulation of nervous systems by electric fields, magnetic excitation, pulsative manipulation. I mean, he's got it all right here. These are his 10 patents. And it ended with this one on monitors. And then he made this website. And the whole thing is just replete with him feeling, I think, pretty badly about what he did. You have to understand, all of these science projects, right? The government has these contractors and they make things and they're very compartmentalized. And I don't think people a lot of times realize, not all the time, some people are just horrible people and they're just in things for bad means. But I think some people actually genuinely think, I'm an engineer, I'm a scientist, I'm doing good things. And they don't even have the foresight to realize what their stuff could be used for and that it could be used against the general public. That's what this patent is, and that's just one. There are a lot of others I'd like to go through. I have a whole thing of patents that I've printed off. I just have never had a chance to get to them all. But this particular one, it blows my mind because people just have no idea. We're walking around bathed in so much electromagnetic radiation right now, background. Human beings have never been exposed to the level that humanity is currently being exposed to in our modern technological age. And we're carrying cell phones in our pockets. We're sitting in front of our computer monitors. We're sitting in front of our television sets. And people just don't have any idea. the myriad uses that these things can be put to, all the stuff it can do. People are just blissfully ignorant. They don't know. And I personally don't want to go through life blissfully ignorant. I'd like to be informed. I mean, when I think of this, it reminds me of Videodrome. If you haven't seen the movie Videodrome, it's a very weird, creepy, violent movie, but they said in that movie the battle for the minds of North America would be fought in the Videodrome, and it was about programming that was turning people violent and crazy. And I mean, he mentioned some of the things that weak electromagnetic fields can do at certain pulsed frequencies, but that was not an exhaustive list of everything that they can do. And I bet it's a lot more than just making people cry at sappy movies. All right? So I just thought you guys should be aware of that. You always get people coming into your videos and they say things like, what am I supposed to do with that information? Well, it's supposed to help empower you to at least know that this is a thing that exists. And so you're not just walking around an ignorant victim. It's not supposed to scare you. It's supposed to empower you. I at least hope that that's what the videos that I make do.
Okay. Your thoughts, people on the microphone?
I think I wish I didn't have any electronics at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting about to that point. And I've said it before, too. I can't wait till this fucking thing goes away, man. I mean, I relish the day that I'll be able to go outside and get in the truck and take off and go somewhere and not worry about forgetting my fucking cell phone. I've caught myself 2 or 3 miles down the road and turn around to come back and get my fucking cell phone. It's like, I don't know. It's a little.
I did that
it's
this
a little
morning
piece
on the
of
way to
evil.
work. I almost turned around to get my cell phone, and then I thought, no, it's not worth being late. So I got all the way to work and found that I actually had it down in my bag. I was like, oh, good. But I was not going to be late for it. But it crossed my mind.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, the way we've become tethered to these electronics is just horrible.
True, but I left so early. I still could have done it, but I wasn't sure, so I chose the safe side of the sidewalk. I got to work.
Your thoughts, Lance?
When was it that they changed us from the what was it, the 433 to 533 or whatever? When did they change all that?
433 to 5. What are you talking about?
The megahertz that everything used to be. The music used to play on, the radios used to play
432, on. Yeah, 432
Yeah,
megahertz. Yeah, that's what it is.
Same shit.
Yeah.
I mean, same shit. So they've been fucking with us for a long time because, I mean, they changed the radio frequencies a long time ago when they found out they could control stuff with the frequency.
Right.
What was their reason for doing it?
I don't know that they gave one.
Control?
Not that I know of. Or I can't remember. It's been a while since I researched that.
Because they knew
Not
it would
too
fuck
many.
with us, right? I mean, they knew that if we listened to music at the right frequency, our brains would stay clear and blah, blah, blah. It's control.
Right.
They're control freaks. That's all.
Yeah, and who knows
Yeah.
what's underneath that music, whatever subliminal
Trying to
messages
ask
are being
why
sent.
is a futile thing, you know? It's just a futile thing. They do what they want to do because they got reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So, your thoughts about it, Vaughn? About this, how deep this control shit goes? I mean, the frequency vibration in your computer screen can affect your nervous system, and they know it.
Oh yeah, I 100% believe in all that. The simple
We've been
fact
talking about it
is,
for a long time.
The last 3 weeks, I have spent time outside, and I've been away from radios, and the only thing in the air would be what would be running through the electric lines or through any other source, that I got no control over. And I felt a lot better. I'm gonna be serious, and I felt like I was able to ground myself away from things. And I didn't get up in the morning and turn one of these dumb things on, and in the evening I was usually too tired to mess with it too much. So when the weather changed a little bit and I got caught up, I come back in and I'm like everybody else. I start doing videos and I start getting the influence of the equipment again. And believe me, it changes your whole perspective. It can control you. I seriously believe it can control you.
Yeah. I wish I didn't have to. I probably don't have to, but I took everything electronic out of my bedroom at one time, and now I've got a scanner in there, so because I listen to a scanner a lot. And I've got my monitor from my mom now, and I take my cell phone in there now because I've got an alarm set on it so that I get up at a certain time so I can get her medicine by a certain time. But before that, I was sleeping awesome. You know, when I didn't have any kind of, my cell phone wasn't in there, the computer's not in there, I don't have a TV in there, I slept awesome. And I find now that I don't sleep as good as I used to. I think it's, part psychological and part, sleeping with one eye open because of mom. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference whether or not you keep electronics out of your bedroom. So,
well, I'll say this: in that 3-week period, in the evening, well, actually early morning, my alarm clock was the calling of the birds early in the morning, still dark.
Yeah.
And that told me the day was going to be, so I was able to go back into even a deeper sleep, knowing that, hey, we are going to have a day where the birds wouldn't be calling out to the Lord.
Right. Strange. The depths to where these sickos will go to try to control the population to keep us dumb. And, I said it on a couple shows ago. We are already in hell. If you're worried about whether or not you're going to go to hell or heaven when you die, know this: you are in hell right now. The devil controls this plane of existence that we live on. It tells you right in the Bible that he's in charge down here for a time, and it's still his time. And if the devil's in control, what does that make Earth?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that. You live in hell. Do whatever you can to make it better, right?
They were saying you make the best of hell because you get out soon.
Yeah.
In other words, be a good person and you have a chance of getting out of this hell.
I get it.
Boiler Room Radio.
Yeah, well, evidently Satan can't
God
swim.
damn,
He's
Kevin.
Fuck out here on the water.
Holy dude, that is just entirely too loud, man. Wow. That blew my eardrums out, man. Wow.
Well, yeah, I don't know why. Must be this microphone's actually, and I actually have it wrapped with foam. I'll throw it over my shoulder. Maybe that's.
Yeah, it's extremely loud, dude.
It's behind.
I can still hear you. So, yeah, it's the microphone. That hurt. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt me so bad if I didn't have these things in my ear, but damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know you're a really energetic guy and stuff, but just easy on the microphone. It's okay.
I'm just talking in a normal voice. It may be it's super sensitive or something. But,
it is, because I can hear you plain as day right now. And if that thing's laying over your shoulder, you know it's that microphone.
Yeah, it's over my shoulder and it's wrapped in foam to block the wind when I'm outside, like a windsock type thing.
Right.
When Alan used to do videos, I used to watch the dogs around him. They put their hands over their ears.
Yeah, he's very energetic. He's a very energetic guy. Okay, so we're at the end of the show. I hope everybody got to get the shit off their chest that they wanted to get off their chest. David, thanks for coming on, brother. I know you didn't get a whole lot of time on the mic, but we got the gist of everything that's super important right now that's going on. So, Kevin, it was good talking to you again, man. I'm glad you had a safe trip going back up there into the netherworld on the East Coast, and you made it back okay, and everything's hunky dory. So it's good to go back and see family from time to time. Lance,
yeah, it was a good time away. Appreciate the invite, Jimmy.
Right on, brother. We'll do it again. We're definitely going to do something about that microphone, but we'll do it again. Lance, thanks for showing up, brother. I appreciate it. Carrie, I think that's what he told me to call you. Is it Carrie? Lance? Is that right? Yeah, Carrie.
Yeah, that was it.
Carrie, Lance's new friend. Thanks for becoming a new listener of the show. I appreciate that, too. Hope you had a good time tonight, brother. I'm glad you made it to the microphone. Kim, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you, as always. You have some interesting takes on things and stories that you dig up.
Thanks.
Yep. Vaughn, appreciate you too, brother. I know you didn't get a whole lot of time on the mic either, but you know we kind of bounced it around a little bit. Tried to toss to you when I could. And Lori, get your ass on this radio show.
Hey, Lori.
I think it's me, Jimmy. Every time I come on, she has something to do.
Well, no, I talked to her earlier. She's got the kids over, right? They're, I think somebody's moving out of town, out of state, something like that. So, you know, they're doing family thing. I dig it. And they had tater tot night. And I know if there's leftovers, I'd be eating tater tot shit all night long because I love them things. So, anyway.
Yeah, Lori doesn't strike me as a thin-skinned type.
No, she's good people.
Yeah.
She's good people. We've had some serious knockdowns, and we're still, you know, we're still best friends. So that's cool. All right, yeah, Jeannie, I made it on the program on the right day and everything. So hey, we'll have to get those clocks set and stuff. All right, let me get over here to this other page so that I can shut this camera down when I do my thing.
Yeah, man. Peace and love, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. As always, love, peace, and cookies. We'll see you next week.
Good night, all.
Good night.